Hey there, traders. Todd here. I'm just trying to pick up the stream here. I know we had Bennett's having some serious issues, so I threw together something really quick. Let me see if this is in fact working. Looks like it is. I know we have about a 20-second delay here, guys. So just let me know. Is everything? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Again, this was just thrown together really quickly. Markets are crazy. We couldn't leave you guys hanging and kind of show you what's going on from our point of view. Let me just check with the team on Slack. And if you guys could type in there, let me know if I pulled this together here for you. Hey, what's up, guys? Can you log in? YouTube. Hey, all right. So, guys, yes, you can hear me. Type in there, please. Badur is asking about my knee. Perfect. All right, good. Tell me if it's working. Yeah, I was all fired up, guys. Listen, it's like 80 here in New York. I've got my palm tree vacation shirt on. My knee is good. Thanks for asking. No brace. I'm like, I can start dancing around doing one-legged squats. So yeah, going well. PT's well. Too bad the market's falling apart. All right, perfect. All right, good. So yeah, I just threw this together real quick. Let me see. Okay, Bennett's telling me it's working. Good. All right, let me just throw a tweet out. If my team is listening, can you guys throw a tweet out that we're going to do a quick update here? Couldn't leave you guys hanging on a day like this. So let me just throw this out real quick. So what's up, guys? How are you? Anybody scared out there? A little blood in the water. Crypto, I hear, is approaching the 3 handle. LiveStream is up. Granted, it's a makeshift studio setup, but we're live. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to set up to have guests. So, all right, so let's do this quick. So here, I just threw this together. Let me see. Watch. Camera A. Oh, wait, that's not going to work. Camera B, we have charts. Watch this. Then I can go to, oh, wait, there we go. Oh, I can do it like this. Oh, so cool. Look at that. That'll work, right? That'll get us done. Boy, I haven't done this one in over a year since Bennett started taking over. Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, Bennett was running this for us. He upgraded vMix to the new version, and all went to hell. All right, so look, we have 10 minutes ahead of the open. Let me just give you, oh boy, that looks terrible, but that's okay. Let me see if I can change that real quick. All right. So look, yeah, futures are coming off pretty hard here. Generally a pretty good risk, de-risking happening right now. Crypto is getting wrecked. We had a pretty good bounce yesterday. We started to hold some support levels in the indexes. That was kind of indicating that we might be okay. You know, earnings continue to be good. Home Depot, Lowe's, Target. You know, those are the reopening sort of big box retailers that, you know, we've had good earnings, but the stock looks kind of choppy. I'd like to take a look at that. You know, we just saw retail sales that were a little weaker than expected. Some housing numbers, some housing starts weren't as good, and inflation just continues to be the sort of the main culprit here. So, you know, one thing that you know, I do want to talk about gold. I do want to start off here with a potential rotation that's happening. That I was today is starting to suggest that this might not be the case. But looking at our RGs, guys, this is the weekly, and we're watching a rotation of the iShares value versus momentum. And if we look at this on the monthly, okay, thanks, guys. Audio's fine. Good. Thanks, Zaid. We look at this in the monthly. Okay, so each one of these dots right here is 1 month. So this is April 1, here 1. There's a lot of time between each of this. And as Terry does such a good job for our members and for the public here, each dot represents 1 month reading, and he'll describe that, generally the markets will rotate around the XY axis, which is the S&P benchmark, which is the, that's sort of, let's call it our true north, or the benchmark that most money managers judge themselves around. So all of the sectors, the industry groups, and the stocks will generally rotate around the central performance of the S&P. So this is the age-old debate of momentum versus value, and you can see that momentum is falling down and to the left. As you see here, there's a little cheat right here. There's a weakening, there's a lagging, improving, and leading. So we are rotating generally around that central benchmark in a clockwise direction. And momentum on the monthly is still on the right half of this chart, which means it is leading, both on the relative strength point of view, and if you're above and to the top right, you're also leading on a momentum. We've dipped below, so the momentum is weaning here, but we are still on the right, judged from the x-axis, which is momentum on a month-over-month basis, is still showing outperformance compared to the S&P. Now, momentum factor ETF holds like Apple and Tesla, and let me see here. Let me see if I can get this up really quickly. And while I'm doing that, you can see clearly the value on the monthly is on the left side of the screen, but it is rotating in. And the question is, will this make let me just pull in more time here. Let's go. That's all right. We won't do that now. The question is will value make a full move and pierce into the right-hand side, or momentum will fall out of favor? So basically, you're on the left, you're underperforming. If you're on the right, you're outperforming. But are these guys going to switch? And you can see, like, by the way, in the time, the distance between each dot, it's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6 months before if we continue on this trajectory, will we get a move into kind of a reversal of roles that have been that way for a long time. So let's just do the last 5 years. Okay. So you can see as we kind of rotate around, you can see that the last time value was on the right, but still behind momentum was back here in 2018. But momentum has generally been on the right side for some time. So is the question, are we going to do that hook under? We go to the weekly. We see something that's interesting, though. Now, obviously, we're talking 7 days rather than 30 days between each data point, but momentum is starting to do this kind of right-hand turn to head back up and to the right. And could we go from the lagging into the improving, into the leading, where value is heading down this way? Okay, now we're looking pretty strong, but the way that things are happening now, I'm starting to call into question, are we going to continue to see that right-hand rotation back into momentum and rotation out of value? I'm almost wondering if this guy does one of these and the value starts to hook back up. So, that's the one thing I was looking at. It's too early to tell. This is certainly a little bit of volatility. I'm going to show you the Elliott wave counts here real quickly. Show you what's going on. Bennett and team have done a great job, and I'm watching them every single day. I'm not doing the Elliott wave counts so much anymore. Did them for a good decade, 12, 15 years, more than that. But I'll show you what they're looking at. I wish I could bring them in again. I can't with the guests. But before we go over into the Elliott wave counts, this is the weekly, looking at the Dow Jones various size of the stocks. We have large cap, mid cap, and small cap. Same kind of thing here in the weekly. Small cap value, mid cap value, large cap value, still on the right side of the RRG, indicating outperformance relative to the S&P benchmark. But you can see they're falling down and to the left and starting to point into that lagging quadrant, where small cap growth, mid cap growth, and large cap growth are rotating up and in the direction that we want to see. I'm really interested to see this kind of big sell-off that we're getting right now, what stocks are going to be hit the hardest? I mean, I'm set to lose a lot of money today, as are you, right? But I'm interested to see, is it momentum or is it value that are going to take it on the chin today? So there's generally a lot of de-risking. We have rates that are started kind of consolidating sideways. I was thinking that interest rates would back off, but interest rates are continue to push up, which is not going to be good for that momentum in tech and high beta sectors, like some discretionary technology and communication. So we'll take a look at interest rates. I'll try to get some Bitcoin in there. And again, I'm sorry I can't have the team on. I just couldn't set up the guest thing quick enough. But I just want to get something out to you guys. All right, let's take a look at where we are in the indexes. And let me just get the questions up. Comments, yell at me, guys. And I will talk about gold as well. I put a tweet out there kind of challenging some of the gold bugs. And that's a good way to kind of stir the wasp's nest and get a good debate going. Talking about nature, I'm gonna take a break here. It's kind of a panic in the last 45 minutes. So we opened the pool, and I put something out on Twitter last year. Like the pool pump, this is gross, but I don't know. I don't think it is. The pool pump has this kind of base, and it's got a hollow opening in it. And it's a really good like snake condo. So we had this huge garter snake that would like to crawl in, and I guess it likes the warmth and I don't know, likes the white noise of the pump, whatever. I put it out on Twitter, and Steve Chiverone, who's with Hermes Federated, who does CNBC with me, he's like, dude, I have the same pump and I have the same snake living in my pump. So to get the kids out of the house, like it kind of goes into this Roblox play, which is something I also want to show you. I was talking about Roblox on CNBC, which is just captured kids' imaginations even after this pandemic is starting to wind down. And I did a bit on Roblox, which this stock just came to market a couple months ago, reported earnings, crushed it. I have a Roblox option trade on now. I'll show you that. But just to get them off Roblox and off the YouTube, to tie these two stories together, I went to the pet store, and I was like, all right, let me get some feeder mice and see if we can get the kids out, get them out and show them a little bit of nature. They're doing sports. Tried to feed the snake with a frozen mouse, and he didn't want to eat it. That's my upstate nature redneck story for you. Not redneck, but anyways. All right, so let's go into the indexes. Even my daughter, like when she wakes up in the morning, she goes, because the snake is there every day. She's like, I want to go see the snake. Anywho, all right, so let's take a look at the S&P to start. And I believe we always look at two interpretations, at least two. And I know I'm probably not looking at Bennett's correct count. He does tend to do his own yellow and green. I tend to look at the blue and red, but that's fine. All right, so let me just go over and remember to get the chart up correctly. And we're going to go up this way. Okay. So look, the fact remains in the S&P that, you know, we are still in a uptrend channel. Market is open now. We are still in an uptrend channel. This breakdown right here was not very encouraging. All right, so let me get the red count over here as well, and I'll show you the two main interpretations that we're looking at. Let me go to red count. Okay. So we're still in an uptrend channel. There's still, you know, hope that maybe the wave 4 low is secured. The problem is you get down from 195-minute down to a 60-minute. That's not a 5-wave move, okay? That's not a, this is 1, 2, 3, all right? We had a possible 4 to move up, but it's just not the case, all right? And today's massive gap down kind of cements this guy's position as a 3-wave move. The problem is this really looks like a 3-wave move as well. So it's kind of getting to this point where it's becoming a mess, all right? So, you know, for this guy, for this red count to remain alive, we have to stay above the wave 1 high, which is going to be at 3983. So what I like to do is just to clean things up, just to get rid of all the internals, wave counts, just throw a wave 4 down here and say, look, this is the line in the sand. At this point, this guy's looking complex. I'm going to lead you over to the Nasdaq, which is a little weaker and a little bit more funky than the S&P. But I'll just throw a WXY on there for now and kind of let this guy marinate for a while. So I would say we are going to probably test 4,000 in the S&P. You know what this thing is, again, it's too tough to tell. I mean, if we're doing a 1-2, small degree 1-2, you would kind of be forced, which I'm starting to get a little nervous doing this. And I've taught my guys over the years, you never want to paint yourselves in an Elliott wave 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 corner. And what that means is, if you do that, if you say, we're going to go orange 1-2, blue 1-2, and then the only thing that's left with this right now is to do another 1-2, that's when you start to say, all right, now we're expecting a wave 3 of 3 different degrees. And guys, I'm guilty of probably being one of the more bullish guys out there on this market. I've been bullish. You know, it's served us well. I've made a lot of money. I'm giving some back. I tend to be a buy and hold now. I'm not doing so much trading, a little bit. But even me, and I'm like, oh, God, if you're starting to tell me we're doing a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, that's a little bit of a problem. All right, so let's take a look at the Nasdaq, and we'll see what the Nasdaq has to say. So exact same, so perfect segue, right? Perfect segue into 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, which means you're going to have, this count requires green 3, of blue 3, of orange 3. I sure as hell hope so, but it's starting to look a little concerning. Let me get Bennett on. Bennett, what is your preferred NDX SPX wave count? I'll just text. I'm sure he's listening. So hit me back on Slack there, Bennett. All right, so that's blue. Let's take a look at the red on the Nasdaq, and let's see what's going on here. Then I'd like to circle into like Apple, Microsoft, and look, there are some triangle counts possible here in the Nasdaq, and this is not all that bad, okay? So if we look at blue 1-2, blue 3, okay, could this be a big old 3? I think that's possible, okay? If this is clearly a 3, this is a 3, and there's only 2 possibilities that are left for the C wave to be 5 waves for a flat, or another 3 wave to be C of a triangle. And that could be very possible as well. And what I like about this is, if we get rid of that and take wave 1 right here, look, you had just a touch of overlap between A of 4 and wave 2, which I don't mind that so much. I mean, the high in wave 1 was 12,204. I'm just looking at down here. 12,204, where the A wave low so far is 12,208. All right, so it overlapped by 4 NDX points. That's fine. And I would feel better if we, in fact, did something like this. If we did a C wave, a D wave, a E wave, then finished wave 4, closed wave 4, clearly out of the territory of wave 2, all right, I can live with that. So, you know, back to the opening discussion that I had, which is momentum on the RRG, which is the Nasdaq stocks, was starting to hook back up. Right now, it feels like hell. It feels pretty rough. There's a general de-risking right now. But again, I want to see the sectors that are leading on the downside. And I'm wondering, I haven't looked yet. You know, I probably don't. Is it financials? Is it materials? Is it industrials? You know, is it the names that, you know, I wouldn't expect to see? All right, so let's pull up the sectors right now and let's see on the opening who is weak. Okay, so let's do this. And again, I'm not really prepared. That's okay. Can I pull it from? I don't want to break stuff. I'm going to pull it from Thinkorswim. Give me a sec. Again, we just kind of put this together last minute. Market watch. Setup. Todd Workspace. Okay, I'm just going to reload Thinkorswim and bring this in. Okay, that was good. All right, so let's just take a look at Sector Watch. Sorting by percent change. Discretionary. No. Interesting. Interesting. Guys, this is what I was talking about. Okay, I did not know, but I had a feeling it was going to be these names that are leading us on the downside. Let me just get this going here. And again, do you need multiple monitors to be a trader? No, but you need multiple monitors to have a trading business. Okay. So the sectors that are leading here, let me throw the names in for you. Customize. I know it'll be a little small. I'll take my picture off here. Okay. Oh, not company name. Whatever. So on a percent change basis, if you don't have it memorized, XLE is energy, XLY is consumer discretionary, XLI is industrials, and let me just pull this up here. Let me get this a little closer. Okay, so it's energy, discretionary, industrials, materials, and financials are the weakest today. There's the Nasdaq, XLC, which is communications, is going back and forth with SPY. So even though tech is down, it's down so less than the big ones. Energy, I don't love that consumer discretionary. I wish that guy wasn't in there. But industrials, materials, these are the sectors that have been leading so much on the upside. So I think what that means is that that movement back into momentum is continuing, into tech is continuing, and it looks like these very overbought sectors are starting to come off. I mean, XLB materials just went parabolic, guys. And there's nothing bearish about this chart. It's like, I mean, damn, you need a pullback. Okay, so if these highly overbought sectors like materials want to pull back and forth something that resembles a wave 4, fine. I'm not going to panic out. In fact, we might want to try to buy some. XLI is another one. I mean, that's fine. I mean, you can just turn that little wave 4 into some kind of ABC. No big deal. That's fine. A little ABC, and again, you have support down into 98.54. Let's take a look at financials. Same thing. I don't know why we're going diagonal here. That's weird, count. Okay, so again, like there's nothing too alarming about these guys. So we're getting a little bit of a sell-off in the names that we've seen become very, very overbought. All right. Okay, so that's that. I do want to talk. Let's do a little look here. Let me check questions, comments. What do you guys want to take a look at? It could be a flat too, Alan. You're absolutely right. NDX. When you have 3 down in A, 3 up in B, you don't know until C is done. But it doesn't really matter because you can't know until C is done whether they're flat or triangle. So you're right. And again, those of you guys who are just joining us, Bennett upgraded to the new software program that we use. It blew up his machine, so I came in real quick and just threw together a quick live stream just to get you guys updated. Okay. Yes, I will definitely look at Bitcoin as well. So let me just round up the thoughts here on this market opening. So we've got S&P down 1.4, Nasdaq down 1.6. Now that's interesting. It's totally against that sector. That's against that sector observation I just made. Has it changed? So let's go. Let me bring my sectors back. Where'd they go? Where'd you go? Sectors. Come on. There we go. So we still have XLE, XLY, XLI. So we've got energy, discretionary, industrials, materials, Nasdaq down 1.6. I would expect the S&P. Okay, well, I guess that makes sense. Okay. Crude down 3%, nasty. Gold. I put the tweet out on gold. Boy, you'd really like to see, okay, gold's getting a little bit of a bid there, up 0.75%. It was down in the pre-market, but trading 1882, so that's fine. I want to look at what stocks in the discretionaries are getting hammered. So we take a look at XLY. Just do a percent change. I mean, Tesla, that makes sense. CarMax, Gap, Carnival, L Brands, Whirlpool. All right. I guess that makes sense. Just seeing what else is up here. Under Armour, GM. All right, no big deal. Let me just put this back to sector spiders. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's that. Let's take a look at what else is going on. I want to take a look at a couple stocks. Let me bring over the Motive Wave console without blowing this thing up. Okay, I'm going to close you. All right. I want to take a look at Apple and see where we are on the triangle count. Is a triangle count still possible in Apple? Remember that we looked at a little bit of a possible triangle or a flat in the Nasdaq, and I'll tell you what, entirely possible that this is just a very standard triangle. Okay, very, very possible. 1, 2, 3. A of 4, B of 4, C of 4, D of 4, E of 4. Okay, off the weekly, it's going on to the daily. Really, you know, your risk is below 116.20, trading 123, so you got $6.5 of risk. It does trace a nice clean 3 right here. I'd love to see it somehow hold. I have a feeling it's not. If we do break down, we're going to have to get a little funky and use our creativity to get a different 3-wave kind of complex move in the triangle. Drew Baptiste, our good friend who was on last week, I believe is with us, brought up the fact that this does look like a 3, and we looked at, or a 5, and that does look at, you know, multiple. We looked at multiple ways to make that sort of fit within the higher degree triangle, and he brings up a great point, and perhaps that's starting to manifest now. That if it's 5, this somehow goes into a 1, this would have to be a 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. If this is in fact some kind of high, which perhaps do we have that? No, we don't. Yellow count. Looks like Bennett's got some pretty funky stuff. Okay, so this would be a potential topping point. This looks like Bennett's work here. If it's 5, 3, okay, this is like pinning yourself again into the Elliott wave corner. Which I'm not saying he's done that, but if this is in fact accurate, guys, it looks like Apple, based on this interpretation, is doing a 1, 2, 1, 2, which means we have a third of a third decline here within a higher degree wave 3. All right, so I don't think, and I'll be honest with you, I hope this doesn't transpire, but if it does, we're going to know pretty soon, because you'll know when you're in the third of a third of a third move. Okay, we're trying to hang on for dear life here. So, you know, minimum target there, minimum would be 100% at 120. Ideal would be 161% at 113. Doing another wave 3 target would be at 115 as well. All right, so, you know, this is the kind of thing where, you know, back in my old trading days when I was a hyper lad, you know, say, okay, look, you know, if this is like, let's give it a 20, 30% chance that we're going into this wave count, you know, put on an option spread, do a 118, 114 put debit spread, you know, pay something that, you know, risks 1 to make 4, if you could do that. Depends on where volatility is right now, but, you know, and I'm going to pull over Microsoft in 1 sec. Here's Apple right here. Not bad, only losing $600 on this. And look, Apple's already up off the lows, guys. I'm not trying to cheerlead this market. I'm not, but I'm like, I don't know. It is sell in May. So, you know, let's just kind of price that thing out. If you wanted to hedge Apple, you know, what did I say? Like a 1, get down into this green zone here, 115, 114 area, do like a 118, 114 put spread. And the best thing is, you know, you don't have to go out very far. If we're going into a third of a third of a third, you're going to find out pretty soon. It's not going to be 30 days out. It'll be like a week out. All right, so you go 9 days out. Let's go to the put spread. Can you do a 118, 114 put spread ski? $4 spread for 40 cents? Come on. I mean, that's 9 to 1, right? Risking 40 to make 360. You know, what percent of one? You know, 1 is 9, and then you couple that with what's the possibility of going into a third of a third? Like I said, I gave it like a 20, 30%. For me, that's a pretty good idea. You know, the chances of you losing that money, I think, are 80%, but you're risking 1 to make potentially 9. So that's kind of the way you go about that. Roblox going back into the 75. We'll talk about that in a sec. I want to look at Microsoft. And again, I'm not looking at questions. I will pull that up in 1 second. Again, I'm just not prepped to be the YouTube DJ like Bennett is. What do we got for Microsoft? It was looking weak. Yeah, that's not too fun right there. Microsoft is not looking solid right there. That is not a triangle. It looks like the triangle already happened back here. Big old 1, 2, 3 move, and I don't like the way that looks. What about Amazonian? Amazon's fine. Amazon's just perfectly content hanging out in its nice little sideways channel. No big deal there on Amazon. What else do I want to show you guys? I got some funky names I want to take a look at. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla getting rocked. Bennett was all over this one. He was very much watching. I don't know what the hell did I just do. He was very much watching this little 3-wave move back up in Tesla. I've been a Tesla bull, you know, on CBC for a long time. I've been bullish, dudes. I have a video on Tesla where I bought Tesla at $170 pre-split. The only problem is it wasn't buying to go long; it was buying to cover an option short. But that's okay. So I've been a Tesla bull for a long time. But you know, the 3-wave move looks pretty serious. Bennett was all over it right here. If we get down to the daily, you know, it's just up, down, up. Like that's a problem as well. So, you know, we're throwing a triangle count on there as well. The bad thing about triangles is the probability of calling in real time is very low, but what they give you in exchange is very favorable reward to risk ratios. Meaning, if this C wave is going to be the low, you know, in a triangle, C cannot break below the low of A. That invalidation comes at 539 spot 49. We're at 555, so you got $20 of risk. If it's right, you should have $130 of reward, right? And again, what's the chance of it happening? I'd say pretty low, that this is the exact low, but the reward is very strong. So possible triangle. Let's get off the red. Let's see what we're looking at the blue. This looks probably more likely that we have a little bit more of a directional wave 4, just a simple down, up, down. I think that's probably going to be the key. C versus A is going to be at 467. Yeah, so you have a really good zone of support, 467 to 493. So if anybody's looking to buy Tesla, and I am, I think your zone is 493 to 467. That's pretty straightforward. I will get to gold and Bitcoin, I promise. Let me just finish out my stocks. All right, so let me just take a breath here. Let's just kind of survey what's going on. So yields are flat. So TNX kind of looks like the Amazon chart. So 10-year yield is just going sideways. Yields are not giving us any guidance here. So we're 1.64 on the 10-year, 30 years at 2.36. Got it. Gold is moving. Gold's on the move, and you know, and let's kind of transition into gold there. So I threw a tweet up there that pissed off a lot of gold bugs, which is fine. Where is it? Zero hedge. Bitcoin's in a bull market 1 hour after tumbling 30%. I love it. Oh, Here's off topic. Do you guys ever go and look at the song that was #1 on the day of your birth? It's pretty fun. Search that. It's pretty fun. Mine is Freak Out, which is kind of like the story of my trading career. So I put, where's my goal? Okay. So I wrote on Twitter, so why are people so bullish gold? Aside from the flow of the cryptos captured, gold has barely managed to break above the 2011 highs as Fed balance sheet has 2.5x'd, 2.8 trillion to 7.8. We should be in Peter Schiff territory by now. And I'm constantly amazed by how enamored people are of gold, even though there's been chronic underperformance based on massive Fed expansionary balance sheet, quantitative easing, every tool the Fed can pull out to stave off technological and demographic and increased globalism, deflation. We're increasingly global workforce, which imports deflation. Technology is inherently deflationary, and investors are living longer, demanding yield for longer, which puts a more steady bid into bonds. So the Fed's trying to stave that off or fight that off, and Alex has discussed that many times on this. If you look at this, like this is the Fed balance sheet at the beginning of the credit crisis. So the Fed ripped the balance sheet to fight the housing crisis, and actually gold sold off. That was interesting. Gold sold off initially, but then eventually caught up, okay? And then gold kind of topped out in 2011 and 12. As the Fed balance sheet continued to grow, gold sold off, all right? Gold found a low, and now we're going into the next, let's call it the third edition of the Fed balance sheet expansion with the coronavirus. And all gold has been able to do is recapture the 2011 highs, where if you look at the Fed balance sheet, 2.85 trillion, the last time the gold was at 2,000 an ounce. Now the Fed balance sheet is at 7.83 trillion. And gold is barely able to hold above 2,000. Like, if I was a gold bug, I'd be pissed. I'd be really annoyed by now. And I just don't understand people's fascination with this chronically underperforming asset class. I don't get it. It's almost like you'd rather be right, and the gold bugs rather be right than make money. The money's clearly the inflationary forces, the actions of the Fed and now the administrations are doing to stave off these pressures are going into equity prices. Equities are the inflation hedge. It's not gold. It's equities, and being in the right sectors is what's going on. So I'll take a look at gold here quickly, and then I do want to look at, before I get into the wave count, I'll kind of cut to the chase here. I think the relationship you need to be looking at here is bonds and gold. I think interest rates and U.S. bond yields and gold trade on an inverse relationship. I think as of 2016, I think you're starting to see gold and bonds, which are moving up based on deflationary forces, starting to trade together. And I think I'm very concerned if inflation is in fact here, whether it's inflation that's accompanied with growth or non-growth. If we've reached peak velocity in the economy and peak growth, are we going into stagflation? I don't know, but either one does not bode well for gold, in my opinion. If bonds and gold are truly trading together, if we are looking at stagflation or even inflation, bonds are going to peel off as rates go up. I think that makes it really hard for you to make the argument on gold. If rates are starting to go up, there's been a big rush into muni bonds and fixed income that's paying yields now. I think it's really, really hard to own gold. I mean, you can look at some of the gold stocks that are doing well, but I think there's better opportunities in like Freeport, and some of the other copper miners and these other precious metals that are so key in the EVs, electronic vehicles, and the batteries. And batteries are just, it's amazing, man. I just bought a new blower from Home Depot, man. This Ryobi, whatever brand that Home Depot sells, the blower is like $225. I'm like, let me go back and buy an extra battery. The battery is $150. It's unbelievable. Part of it is, the supply chain issues that we're facing as we were caught flat-footed by COVID and didn't realize that it happened in the middle of a massive bull market. supply chains and suppliers are starting to catch back up, I think those prices will normalize. But I think there's better opportunities out there than to be into gold. I mean, we can take a look at GDX if you want, the gold miners. Same thing. I mean, okay, dude, it's how I just showed you on that Twitter that gold is struggling to get above the 2011 highs. GDX is, I mean, it's nowhere near the 2011 highs. So every time I get on, people's fascination with gold just continues to I just don't understand it. I understand the theory. I understand, the debasement of the U.S. currency, but from a portfolio point of view, man, you've missed out on a lot of performance if you're continuing to fight the gold bug, that gold argument. Okay, so yeah, I do believe Bitcoin is taking a lot of crypto, or taking a lot of flow. So let me just throw up the crypto space here quickly, and I'll show you Bitcoin. Market's been open for a half. Let me just do a quick check. I also want to talk about Palantir. I added a position in Palantir. How am I doing? Probably losing 11 G's. Not bad. Could be worse. Pretty small. Could be worse. All right, let me throw up this. Let me just do, crypto is loading. Let me just put up a market check here on the open. Time I change my wallpaper too. Isn't it amazing when you change wallpaper? Don't you feel like, I don't know, you stare at that picture so much? I think it's important to keep it fresh. I think we got to go to a Caribbean island now. What do you guys have for wallpaper? Let me know. If you have any good ones, send them my way. I'm always open for new ideas. Okay, so just to check. So we're off our worst levels. S&P down 1.8. Nasdaq down 1.1. Gold is pushing up 1880. Silver's down. Crude was down yesterday too. 63, not doing much. Bonds are flat. Okay, fine. Let me find my sectors. And again, once you get through one of these live streams, your charts are like all over the place. Energy is getting rocked today, down 2.9. Then materials, then financials. And look, discretionary is starting to catch up a little bit. Not so much of an underperformer. I was surprised. Guys, again, this is what I thought was happening. I think if you go back, if you were listening, I was looking at industrials. I was thinking financials, materials. I was like, I bet those are going to be the downside leaders today. And that's exactly what's happening. So let me get off that and go up to full screen chart. Okay, so that's that. Let me look at industry groups. Who is leading on the downside? Non-ferrous, aluminum, automobiles, coal, oil, tires, iron, exploration, apparel. That's the first non-energy related. Besides automobiles, I'd put that in there. Tires, coal, iron, oil, exploration, apparel, integrated oil, hotels. So you've got energy and you've got some consumer discretionary that are coming off. Guys, again, a little off on the news. Is there anything coming out COVID related to hit the discretionaries like this? Or is it just good old healthy profit taking, I wonder? Let me know if you've seen anything. All right, crypto's up. Let me take a look at that. I know Alex is probably jumping out of his shorts right now because this is the day I've given him a hard time for kind of being underly bullish or overly cautious crypto. And the one day that crypto gets wrecked, he's shut out of the podcast. Alex, I'm laughing with you, man. I hope you know that. Alex is the best. I love him. It's getting wrecked, and he's been calling it. All right, so I mean, I wonder if that's going to turn into a flat. I mean, look, your wave 4 on Bitcoin, you always look for it to test the area of the prior fourth at 29,000. So we got down to about 30K, and we bounced back up to 35. As Zero Hedge said, we're already in a bull market in gold. It's up 20% in probably an hour or whatever. So let's get off the daily. Let's get on the 3 hour. Yeah, that's the early making. So far, it's a 3-wave move, but there's no way that's a triangle. I have a feeling we're probably looking for a 5-wave move to make that a flat in Bitcoin. Alex, you have so much. There we go. Alex, sorry, we have too many fib ratios up there. All right. So first thing you want to do is you want to look at, just figure out how far this wave 4 could go. You want to look at 4v2, way past 4v2. How about 4v3? Okay, so 38% is at 28, 50% is at 22. Okay, so that's fine. So I'm looking at the prior wave 2 to give a wave 4. Okay, that's this dinky little guy right here. I almost wonder if we need to go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's starting to feel like that's what's going on there. And I'm sure Alex is looking at a different count. Orange. Alex, are you there? Tell me what your preferred count is. Alex. Which MW count? Going orange. Okay, so this is orange. Okay, got it. Thanks, Alex. Okay, perfect. Yep, this looks better. Thanks, bud. Yeah. Okay, so look, you know, kind of a possible triangle count. Way too early to tell, but this looks better from a price, size, and time comparison. I would say this correction is starting to match up with this guy. Okay, so 4v2 time. 100% would be January of 22. So you're talking 7 months for now of this, if it's a triangle. This is a very long wave too. I mean, this guy lasted from July of 19. Wow, July of 19 to March of 20. So less than a year. Okay. Less than a year. But wave 4s tend to be longer than wave 2. So that's pretty nasty. So we have a 4v3 price. Let's get a 4v2 price. Ratio analysis 4v2 is already there. Where's 4v2? There we go, right here. .4v2. Where are you? Okay. That's what I'm looking to do. Okay. So depending on what kind of shape this wave 4 takes, if it's a triangle, we really, you know, the other good thing about a triangle is A wave sets the low. If you think about that, if it's a triangle, A wave sets the low, B, C to a higher low, D, E to a higher low, and then you move up. So I think 27, 28 in the outside chance that it's a triangle is a tradable low, you know, down into this low. If it wants to get more directional and do something like A, B, C, you have to just keep in mind that wave 1 high at 13.7 is invalidation. So either we hold A and go into a triangle, and you're going to have to deal with a year of back and forth madness in crypto before you move up and out, which will certainly cool the so much attention being focused in crypto because people get bored of it. Or we're going to do something a little deeper down into the 22s to 15. Alex, is that fair? And just type something out. And are you on board with what I'm saying? And there's a 30-second delay before he can write me back. So I'll come back to that. And if Alex, also WX, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. He's saying, or WXY is possible. So it's ABCX, ABC down into the 18s, down into the sub 20s. Yep. If it's a triangle, we probably find a low around 30 and go sideways. If we break 30, we're probably going ABCX, ABC deeper into more pain down there. All right, and he's saying, look at Ethereum orange. And this is what's cool about this software, guys. We're all synced together on the same software. So as he does his work on MotiveWave, I come in the morning and it's already done for us. and yeah, we share the wave counts around the team, so it's pretty cool with the MotiveWave software. All right, so for Ethereum, okay, got it. Yep. Oh, I see what you, exact same thing. Okay, cool. Same thing. Green 1, green 2, green 3. You know, this sell-off is certainly not as sharp in Ethereum as it is in Bitcoin. I'm wondering what Ethereum Bitcoin cross rate's doing. I bet you that cross rate's going up right now. Ethereum's probably showing more relative strength. And Alex, I'm going to pull that up and yell at me if I get the wrong one. But same conversation. We're very early in the wave 4. Whether it's going to be WXY, ABC, or a triangle, you just can't know. But what you do know is time elapsed in wave 2 will be equal to wave 4 in January of 2022. Now, the guideline of alternation in Elliott wave says if this was sideways, which it kind of is, wave 4 should be quick and to the point and sharp. So maybe we are going to go into a little bit more of a directional, painful correction, which is 618 would put us into October of this year. You know, because this guy, it's really sideways. It's not a typical ABC sharp zigzag. And the guideline of alternation, Elliott says, if this is sideways, this guy should be sharp. Usually it's the sharp wave 2 and sideways meandering wave 4. Okay, so that's Ethereum. Let's get down on the daily. And I know our member webinar is starting now, and I'm sure the guys are taking care of them, so that's good. There's a few more things I want to talk to you guys about, and then we'll sign off. I'll take some questions, comments, insults, anything that you got. 1, 2. I mean, this is really looking like 1, 2, 1, 2. This looks like a third of a third here. So unfortunately, guys, I don't think it's time to be buying this dip. Ethereum. Ethereum is, so 4v3. Let's do a 4v2. I'm going to sneeze. Man, allergies too. It's great that the weather's warming up at upstate New York. Oh my God, the pine trees we have. Crazy. We just put out a Microsoft trade. I just got the alert. I won't tell you the strikes, but we did do a June put spread at Microsoft. We're going to save that for members. All right, good work, guys. It just push notification up on my phone for members only. Hope you guys are members. You should be. Okay, so let me just see if I can do Bitcoin or Ethereum Bitcoin. And Alex, yell at me if that's not the right one. Oh, let me get the chart up. Is that the right one, Alex? Ethereum Bitcoin right here. This is the right chart. ETH BTC, right? Just give me another yes. Oh no, he's on the member webinar. Okay, guys, I'm pretty sure this is the right one. So this is the cross rate, taking the dollar out, Bitcoin dollar, Ethereum dollar. And a good way to look at the relative strength is to remove the dollar and do Ethereum Bitcoin. And you can see that over the last couple days, Ethereum Bitcoin has been dropping, which means Ethereum has actually been underperforming Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been outperforming Ethereum. That's a trick from my old Forex days. That looks interesting. This does not look anywhere near as sharp of a sell-off in Bitcoin dollar or as Ethereum, as I said. So I think if you wanted to rotate out of Bitcoin into some Ethereum, and Alex will have to confirm, he's on the members webinar now, that you could find a tradable low pretty soon here and moving into Ethereum out of Bitcoin. I think Elon's, that was a pretty crazy about face he did. He really, it's amazing. He got so much behind Bitcoin and then kind of realized, oh man, I guess they're quite the polluters to be mining Bitcoin. And what I don't understand, I can't pretend to be a Bitcoin. I'm not a Bitcoin guru. I don't know everything about it, but there's only 3 or 4 million Hi, sweetie. You're on YouTube right now. All right. There's only, what, 3 more million Bitcoins to be mined? So, like, it's going to be a finite problem. It's not like an ongoing issue, right? So tell me where I'm wrong there. I don't understand, the mining is the issue. How long is it going to take to mine the other, I think there's 18, 19 million outstanding coins. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know what I'm missing there. But anyways, I do think the Ethereum Bitcoin rate. So if you don't want to be trading Bitcoin against the dollar or Ethereum against the dollar, you could be trading Ethereum against Bitcoin. And if you can get a low down in the 0.6, 0.55 area, that could be a tradable low. They can both be going down, right? But they go down at a different pace relative to the US dollar, and you can make money by Ethereum showing relative strength relative to Bitcoin, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. All right, I'm going to leave that one there. Let me check comments, questions, and insults. Yeah. Okay. Charlie says, I have Todd as my wallpaper. It's funny. Pretty good. All right, so let me take a look. Now look, let's get a market glimpse here first. Okay. You guys are funny. Oh man, wait, I'm not done yet. You know what I've been living with? You guys can see the corner of my knee icing machine. I live with this thing, like this strap. It's always under the desk. I sit here for hours on end with this thing filled with ice. It's like a cooler. There's no beer in here, but there's water and there's ice, and it flows through in this thing. You strap this pad on, and oh man, it just ice, baby. That's the key to recovery. All right, so let's go back to the markets and see what this opening looks like. Yeah, it's nasty. Okay. So aside from that, guys, there's a few things I do want to talk about. I have Roblox working, and I really do like the behavior in Roblox here so far. Showing a ton of relative strength. Roblox, as I said, is an online platform that is just capturing so much market share of the preteens, not toddlers. I don't know what you call my 7-year-old boys, but all their friends play Roblox, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds, preteens. I think even the teens are playing it, but it's an online developer platform that invites developers to come in, monetize their ability to build on the platform. They monetize their games, and these kids, they buy Robux. So it's a freemium model. It's free to get in, but if you want to advance and build out your avatar, and these kids build these economies, and they build, my kids they play this car wash game or this restaurant game. They build these massive restaurants. They hire chefs, they hire cooks, they bring them in. They try to monetize. The only way to really build out your restaurant and to gain dollars on the platform is to buy Robux. And buying Robux, the only way you can buy them is if your parent puts their credit card in. It's amazing how much they're hitting us up to buy Robux. So I had a feeling. I just bought the stock ahead of their first earnings, which was right here on the 11th. And I think it would have broken higher if the overall market didn't fall apart. But it's showing a ton of relative strength. If this market could somehow find its footing, Roblox is going to rip up through. So I still hold the stock. I have an option position, expires Friday. I held it for a while. RBLX monitor. So I still have 200 shares of Roblox, and then I bought it. I did an option position too. So I've got a 70, 75, 80 call. So I did that on May 10th. All right, so if we just go RBLX. So I did it the day before earnings, which May 10th was right here. So I did a 70, 75, 80 call butterfly. So it's a long trade, but I also wanted to settle right around 75 at expiration. I thought it would move up. I didn't think it would rip higher, so I just didn't buy the options. I did a call butterfly because I thought the overall market was under pressure. I didn't think it would go like 85 bid. So it's moved up. We're trading 73.45, so it expires Friday. I'm up $1,600 on the trade now. If we can stay up around 75, which I think it will, it's showing a lot of relative strength, I'll make $2,900. And if we can expire worthless at 75, these 75 calls that still have $1.22 of premium, I'm short those. So I'll make $1.22, $122 times 20. The 70 calls are in the money, they'll hold their intrinsic value, and the out of the money 80 calls will go away, but they're only worth 70 cents, so I'll lose $700 there. Make 20 times 100, $122 times 20, and these guys will hold their value. So that's the way a call butterfly works. It really reduces your, it reduces the theta, which is the time decay, and it reduces the capital outlay just to buy an option. So you're buying a call spread and then you're financing it with the sell of a call credit spread on the upside. We can talk more about that later. So that's Roblox. Watch that one. I also put Palantir out there. This is an insane company. They're Palantir right there. Okay, let's take a look at Palantir. This company is it's a Cathie Wood's favorite. It's a SaaS, software as subscription, software as service company. They just reported earnings. They crushed it. So what they do is they provide governments and private companies the ability to mine large data sets to try to analyze and drive specific outcomes, which is to make money. So they started it in the government in 2008, in government intelligence and defense. In 2016, they went private, and they have a software program called Foundry, and their goal is to really become the largest sort of operating system for businesses. All right, so other things people don't know is they were a key player in the COVID battle. So they worked with medical supplies companies to try to gain an insight as to imbalances of medical supplies. And the software would say, we need to move supplies here, we need to move supplies there, to sort of proactively head off supply issues. And supply chains are massive right now. So they just signed a deal with in 2021 with Rio Tinto, which mining company is huge right now. And they did is with 3M as well, big industrial conglomerate. So they have a lot of revenues from the government in defense, but they are making a big move into private. A C-suite official at Palantir said, I'm just quoting, the company helped the UK and the US run two of the most successful vaccination programs in the world. So pretty amazing. A couple 13F filings, Stanley Druckenmiller, arguably the best hedge fund manager of all time. He just picked up $140 million worth, which is 6 million shares for their family office. Cathie Woods just bought a ton of Palantir. Sorry, I should have the camera on me here. I guess I'm not doing a very good job. Cathie Woods just bought, I think she just made it like a 14th largest holding in her ARK Innovation Fund. And then the Biden legislation, the cybersecurity, trying to shore up the supply chain issues in the U.S., specifically with semiconductors, trying to kind of regain our place as being self-reliant with semis, because the semiconductor shortage hit us very hard. This earnings season would have been a lot stronger if it wasn't for that. And hopefully that infrastructure bill that Biden wants to put through will come through and really could benefit Palantir. And I just look at, it goes back to that conversation that I had with the rotation into momentum out of value, which is not something a lot of people are talking about. I look at some of these names like Palantir, like Teladoc, like even Tesla. Tesla's coming off here, but we're seeing sort of a little bit of relative strength in these names. And if I look at Palantir, I see 5 down in A, triangle B, and maybe this is just 1 and 2. but it could also be a very short, just little wave C, and we're ready to rip higher, okay? If we break through resistance here at about 21.5 bucks, Palantir could be at a low and ready to push higher. So Palantir, I think, looks good. I added it. Roblox we talked about. Roku's another one. Okay, this is just such a simple little wave 4 here, pullback in Roku. That's the weekly. Let's go down to the daily. A little, you can see a 5-wave move there, and then it gets really a little funky here. It's almost like 1, 2, 3, truncated 5 right there. And if we can hold 280 in Roku and break through channel resistance, I think Roku might be ready to go. So again, these are stocks that were high flyers of 2020, just got taken out back and shot. People are pretty much giving up on them, but the relative rotations are saying, well, hang on a minute. Peloton. Guys, A, B, C. You look at this little weekly. I remember I had a setup which was called this, oh my God, I think it was called Psycho Buy. So you open in the top, close in the low, bottom third, open in the bottom third, close in the top third. That's a massive reversal pattern right there. I can throw candlesticks on it if you want, but I think it looks better with bars. That's a big sell-off followed by a recovery. And if you start breaking back above 100 in Peloton, even with the treadmill issues, that looks pretty good in Peloton. I added some Tilray with our customers. We have a couple swing trades in the stocks. I'm starting to see cannabis starting to rotate back in. You know, you've got wave 1 high here. You've got ABC down in 4, starting to hold about 13, 14 bucks. A little push up in Tilray, I think, would be nice. Tilray merged with Afria, so that's good. GRWG is another holding. I'm thinking might be Grow Generation, might be triangulating. Again, you have A wave support and GRWG at 34.11. You're trading at 38 bucks. You got 4 bucks of risk. We're already starting to do a little gap today. And look, this is the candle today. You open at the lows, and we're starting to move back up. So I can get down to a 1 hour, and I'll show you that price action. You open at the lows, and we're starting to close. GRWG looks pretty solid right there for a move up. So it's like, you know, these high-flying, high-beta tech names that were so strong in 20 are starting to show some relative strength, and I'm wondering if there's a lot of hoopla to do about what is still possibly in triangulation. It really needs to hold above 21.35 on the Russell to keep this triangle count alive. Let me get down to a 1 hour. You have 5 waves off the low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's clear. Down into a deep 786 retracement. Again, the risk, and it's totally against consensus and market sentiment here, but the risk is 30 rut points. And, you know, the 10 or 20% chance that we're right, the upside is up and above the triangle. I don't know, guys. I'm giving you more questions. There's more questions than answers here. There's definitely more questions than answers. It's a funky market, so much different than last year, which it was almost too easy to make money last year. So that's fine. Other updates. I have a date for my Series 65 test. I'm studying hard on this. This thing is a bear. The Series 65 must happen for me to launch the wealth management company. So that is very much on track. People are signing up for consultation calls. I'm taking calls every week talking about customers who are interested in having their portfolio managed. There's 2 ideal clients. One who is at or approaching retirement age, who has 401ks that have rolled out into IRAs, into individual IRAs, and who have cash accounts, or somebody's post-retirement as well, pre-retirement, right around that age, who is working with qualified money, which is money that's rolled out of a 401k into the IRA, wants managed accounts managed. We'll be focusing on 2 main portfolios: growth, more tech, and also dividend, a little bit more stable value, all individual stocks, but a lot of rotation and a lot of exposure in financials and materials and industrials and the sectors that are moving. And then the other ideal client is somebody who's in their 20s, 30s, or 40s, who is working and who is able to contribute to a retirement plan, who is in the process of building that money up. Okay, you don't need to come in and start with 500 grand, but if you're somebody who's working and who's somebody who is committed to building a long-term portfolio, has a different risk tolerance than the retiree, somebody who can commit to a financial plan, you are an ideal client as well. So if you have any interest there, just head over to, you can head to Trading Analysis, and there's a little sign-up page for a consultation right here under Wealth Management, tradinganalysis.com to Wealth Management. If you are somebody who wants to manage your own capital, which I recommend, if you want to trade, and a lot of the clients who are going to be working with me will keep probably 10 or 15% of the money to trade around and do what they want. Follow along with Trading Analysis or do your own trade ideas, which I think is great. Or you can, and then leave the balance to be managed elsewhere. I think that's a smart way to go. The other thing is I'm not quite ready to make this announcement, but I am working with a much larger established wealth management company. They have $500 million under management. I'm going to own my own legal entity, but I will have back office compliance and some administrative support from them as well. So I am joining a team, but it will be my own legal entity. And he's a good friend of mine. I've been on CNBC with him so a lot of times, so you probably know who it is, but I'll announce that soon. All right, so questions, comments, things that I've missed. The guys are doing the member webinar now. I'm going to hop in there. But let me just take a look at anything we missed. And where's my YouTube window? There it is. Okay. All right, good. Looks like everyone's good. Yeah, 600 billion wiped out as crypto tumbles. That's amazing. Amazing. But we all knew that was possible, guys. Look, that's why portfolio management is so key. And my portfolio, my holdings, I'm not doing anything. I'm keeping it. Guys, I've got 3% exposure in crypto. I'm not gonna, you've got to have proper allocation. And 3% allows me to buy in the dip. If we go down to the 19,000, I'll buy some. It's fine. I don't mind riding it down. Guys, I first started trading crypto. I have my trade confirmations. I bought like 10 coins at $330 in Bitcoin. I've been with this thing for a long time. I didn't keep them all. I can tell you that. Wish I did. But I've been doing crypto since the beginning, and I was publicly putting Elliott Wave counts on there. It's just been part of the portfolio. You should have exposure to it. One more name I want to put in front that just kind of reminded me that looks good. Let me just pull this up before I put the chart up. The semis, which is related to the crypto conversation. Let me just flip this back. NVIDIA. It's fine. It doesn't look damaged. NVIDIA. AMD's the same thing. It doesn't look as dire as some of these other. It's just sideways, guys. Sometimes it's so important to set all our voodoo technicals aside and just look at a blank chart and say, what do you see? Just take a step back. Just take a step back and say, what do you see? Watch this. What do you see on that chart? It's just sideways. Set the emotions aside. It's a sideways chart. Should you freak out? Sell NVIDIA. No, dude. It's gone nowhere for 8 months. Okay. All right. That's fine. So is it possible that we find some support down into the 618? Did it just do a double bottom? Are we down here? Possibly. I think chips look fine. And can you imagine when they finally retool and get the supply issue caught up in? That's a great little buy point in AMD. I mean, we might see the 6 handle in AMD, but there's nothing broken about this. In fact, that's a nice little buy point in AMD. Okay. All right, everybody good? Everybody good? Everybody good? Man, it feels good to be back on the back of my old trading chair. I missed you guys. Not much on the news front, says Igor, or some BS about third wave of COVID has started. Yeah, we're all vaccinated now. And, you know, and somebody, one of my friends who's a doctor in town told me this. He's like, the sensitivity, I can't, I won't say who it is. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But they're saying the sensitivity of the COVID test now is so much. It's like 40,000 parts per whatever. It is so low that it's not, he explained it to me, it's not a viral load that could be transmitted to somebody else. It's not strong, 40,000 parts per whatever. I forgot what he said. It's not enough to transmit to somebody else, but it is enough to trigger a positive test. So with so many people being vaccinated now, we might see an increase in positive tests, but it's not to the degree that we're going to spread to other people. Something like that. He's like, yes, if we see a third wave, I don't know. I hopefully, you know, the overseas issues, India is in a world of hurt, obviously. And my heart goes out to them. But I think the third wave, if there is one, will be a lot less, have a lot less impact. I hope I'm not speaking, because I'm not an expert on this at all. But if you have thoughts, let me know there. Okay, guys, I think we're going to leave it there. Let me just take one more little poke through. Coinbase is getting wrecked. You know, with the way crypto is going, you can't touch it. You know, if we're going to go in a year-long triangle, and that you can't touch it. Apple 123, Tesla's holding its own, Google's laying down. That's okay. I think everything's fine. CRM's up, Shopify's up. Amazing. All right. Okay. So, guys, if you don't mind, throw a thumbs up on there. I can't believe we pulled it off. I missed the team, but hopefully we got it done. So, thanks. Little thumbs up there on the YouTube window if you don't mind, and we'll see you guys. Member webinars happening now. We'll see you at Trading Analysis and for upcoming wealth management. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Happy Memorial Day coming up. I'll be studying, and we'll see you guys soon. All right. Thanks. Bye.